Welcome to Strange Bedfellows, a Julian Fellowes fan cast. I'm Kirt Graves.
And I'm Stefanie Jochman-Deepak.
Lord Julian Fellowes has been an actor and writer for the big and small screens for decades, accumulating dozens of industry awards, numerous accolades, and millions of fans.
We count ourselves among those fans. Who are we? Longtime friends with a deep appreciation for the craft of writing, a love of television, movies, and theater, and the desire to spend more time together discussing your favorite English teacher's favorite screenwriter.
He's the master of the upstairs-downstairs dynamic, transporting audiences to another time while juggling sprawling casts and soap opera-worthy storylines.
From the drawing room to the servants' hall, no impropriety is too small nor scandal too large for Lord Fellowes to wring drama from it, while holding a mirror up to the events of today.
Forcing us to examine the structures of wealth and power that exist to this day, propping some of us up while holding others down.
As the conclusion of Lord Fellowes' most well-known work, Downton Abbey, the grand finale, draws near, we're going all the way back to the beginning, revisiting the work we already know and love.
And exploring the books, shows, and movies we missed along the way. Let
the journey begin.
So here we are, our first podcast together.
This is so exciting.
Years in the making of us being like, what should we do a podcast about?
I know. I feel like it's inevitable, but yet also felt impossible. And now I'm excited that we're realizing the dream.
Yes. So let's start by telling the audience just a little bit more about who we are. Mm-hmm. I guess we can start with like who we are today and what we do, and then we can talk a little bit about like how we know each other.
Yeah, I like that.
Would you like to go first?
Sure. So I am a high school English teacher. I currently teach in Northern Virginia and teaching juniors and seniors this year, but I've taught all the grades, and about to start my 19th year of teaching, which is just
that's insane,
absolutely crazy.
We're so old. I know. When did that happen?
I don't know. I really don't.
I don't feel old, and yet the evidence is
it's there. It's there.
We're there. And my name is Kirt Graves. I am primarily an audiobook narrator, so I have read so many soap opera worthy, to borrow my own phrase, books. And I am an actor and a podcast producer. And so my job is really to talk into a microphone. So like, here I am doing it some more.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be brought into the speaking into a microphone world.
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
All are well, I mean, literally like anybody can do this. So and everyone has a podcast, and now you do too.
Yes.
So we know each other from high school.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And maybe even just a little bit earlier than that, because we were both at the same creative writing workshop in middle school.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that the other day and was like, wow. Because that was what, 7th grade maybe?
I think so. I think it was 7th grade. Yeah.
But mostly we came together because we were both on our high school forensics team, which a lot of people might know as speech and debate. We called it forensics in Wisconsin.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Not dead bodies.
Not dead bodies.
Very alive words.
Yes. Although there were plenty of dead bodies in the prose.
Yeah.
That was a common theme. Bodies getting dead. Bodies rising from the dead sometimes.
Yeah. Which I think is going to dovetail nicely into some of the events we'll discuss in this podcast.
Right.
So we've just been practicing the whole time.
I was going to say, we've been hanging out talking about writing and literature for over 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. So it feels natural to be here talking about just a great screenwriter. And the title of our podcast, I think, can draw its roots from our time together in forensics.
Yes.
In that, can I tell this story?
Please do.
Okay,
everybody at this point is thinking, Strange Bedfellows, forensics, say more.
Yeah, yes. So Kirt and I were tasked with giving a tribute to the seniors. When we were 9th grade members of the forensics team, there were 4 of us who were 9th graders who started out on the team. And we were tasked with creating a tribute to the seniors for our banquet. And so we spent a whole weekend writing a parody poem of sorts for the seniors. And then we had to practice it. And so we're at the Knights of Columbus Hall, the night of the banquet. We have to do one more practice. So Kirt and I find ourselves in a coat closet. We just walk in, the two of us. Meanwhile, our parents who are at the banquet, one mom turns to the other and she's like, my son and your daughter just walked into that closet, but I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah. Do we have anything to worry about? No.
Nah.
No. I had not come out yet, but they weren't worried.
You hadn't come out. I was goody two shoes all the way.
Right.
No questions.
Yeah. There was neither parent was worried.
Yeah. Okay, we'll just go with this. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't, I mean, you may have told your parents. I didn't tell my parents a lot of what was going on. I still don't. But so I don't know that they even knew that I was getting up and presenting something that banquet. They probably had no idea why I would have been sneaking off with this particular girl into the coat room.
I can't remember if I told them. They might have known, but yeah, I think they would have just been like, okay. Yeah. She hasn't made us mad before, so.
Right, yeah. It would be interesting to go back and talk to our forensics coaches and ask, why us?
Yeah.
There were 4 of us. Anybody could have done it. Why did we get roped into this?
Right.
And then, furthermore, why did we make it our whole personality for the next 3 years?
Because it was.
To one up each other, one up last year's thing.
Yeah. Oh, I guess, okay, we did a poem, so now I guess we need to do SNL style skits. Or
that's right. That was sophomore year. SNL style skits.
Yep. And then junior year, we did song
full-on
parodies.
Musical parodies.
Yeah. Yep. And then we came back as freshmen in college and did infomercials. Yes, we did.
That's right. Oh, I had forgotten that we came back.
We came back.
Yeah, and we had to sneak in because it was a surprise.
Yes.
We were the losers in that situation though, because we never got to roast. We did not get an epic roast for our senior year. Jay did his best.
Our coaches did. I'm going to say they did a good job.
Well, that's because you've always been nicer than me. As our audience will learn.
I don't know. I have some pretty hot takes on some of the things that happen on
good.
Downton as we keep going.
This would be a surprising turn if I was the softer touch on this podcast.
We'll see. As I've been rewatching, I've been remembering what's coming up and going, oh no, I don't want to revisit that. And when I do, I'm going to be spicy about it. So
yeah, there's lots. There's lots. Well, so what is our, I guess, why do we think we have the right to be talking about Julian Fellowes? I'll start with myself, which is this, again, I work with words every day, and bringing them to life interpreting them and bringing them to life is my whole job. And so now, no matter what the media is that I'm taking in, I'm thinking about, the foundation of any scene, which is the text, and which is both why I've come to really admire Julian Fellowes' work and sometimes get really frustrated with him.
Yeah. And similarly, as an English teacher, words are my work as well. And I'm thinking critically about any text that I take in. And I think my own work with English literature in particular, the fact that I've spent some time in the UK. I mean, I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I feel like I've gathered knowledge that's
You're a
helped me to
correspondent
understand.
more than I am. I haven't been there.
And also, I've kind of been I've been a Downton evangelist of sorts. Mm-hmm. I'm the friend who turns other friends onto it. So I feel like I'm familiar enough. And similarly with the Gilded Age. So yeah, I feel like that's what makes me eligible for this podcast.
You, I believe, were the primary influence in getting me to watch it.
Yes.
Getting to watch Downton, which we will talk about in just a couple episodes. So don't worry, folks. We're getting there with the Downton Abbey of it all. Was Downton Abbey your first exposure to Julian Fellowes?
Yes. Yeah. As far as I knew, I think maybe. So I had seen Gosford Park before Downton came out,
Okay.
but I didn't really register the Julian Fellows of it all. I think then when that show came out and they made the connection back, that's when I saw it. So yeah, Downton is definitely my first exposure.
Same for me. Even though now I consider myself a lifelong fan, it wasn't really until Downton came out that I knew anything about the guy.
I mean, really, now that I've seen Downton in its entirety, and like once it really got rolling, it's like this show was tailor made for me. So, you know, his existence and his ethos, it's like, yes, please hand this to Stefanie.
Yeah, exactly. So, what is it about this moment in time that made us go like, this is a good idea? Let's do this right now.
I mean, I think so. We have a pretty great text chain going about the Gilded Age. And to the point where it's like I keep notes in my notes app on my phone of like the devastating, it's called Devastating Gilded Age is the name of the note.
I love that.
And it's basically just like all my favorite quotes are the moments where I'm like, ooh, like, you know, my husband Drew was just laughing at me like, what is going on? I'd be like, ooh, that moment. Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's our text chain and the fact that, and Drew has also said, I'm not watching this with you because we're returning to the Gilded Age. Like, fair point. Yeah. So the fact that things are happening in our world that are, you know, so timely and yet so, they mirror the past in such startling ways. I think it's worth revisiting this. And I think so there's both good historical examination and there's a great opportunity for comfort where we need it because we're facing these moments where history is repeating itself in some kind of ugly ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. That's really... And also, I guess just to say that, like, because of the Gilded Age, Julian Fellowes is still going strong. And so we still have new work to perhaps look forward to. We know that Gilded Age is getting a season 4, so we can talk about that when it comes around. Yep. As we mentioned in our introduction, you know, Downton Abbey is having its 3rd movie. Supposedly its last, but, you know,
who knows?
If they keep making money, they might just keep making them.
Well, and the kids are getting older and we're heading towards World War II. There's like ample opportunity for some other kind of series, but the fact that the movie is still so, I mean, there's such excitement surrounding it that you can go to an early premiere. There's all sorts of, you know, special premiere events going on. There's going to be the special on NBC and Peacock. So that says we're still paying attention and we still care a lot about these characters. Exactly.
So we decided to jump in. Really, like the impetus of the podcast was deciding not to focus on Downton Abbey because, like, we probably could have done a Downton Abbey recap show years ago, but something about that didn't click with me. And then we've had this text chain about the Gilded Age, and I hadn't come up with the idea like, oh, let's do a Gilded Age podcast. But when it came to be like, wait a minute, let's talk about all of Julian Fellowes' properties together, suddenly it was like, this makes sense.
And you had a punny title ready to go.
And there was a punny title that was just like, it was right there, you know?
I love a pun. Yeah.
We love a pun. But I love the breadth of his work. I was very surprised as I did a little bit of research about Lord Julian Alexander Kitchener Fellowes, Baron Fellowes of West Stafford, that he had done as much as he had in the entertainment industry. I did not know he was an actor.
I feel like somewhere I knew that, but also, yeah, I have not seen him acting in anything.
No, I don't. And for the record, folks, we're not going to dig up his acting past.
Yeah, we're focusing on Fellowes, the screenwriter. But Good to know that he was in the actor's shoes first.
Yeah, which, I mean, I think probably does contribute to why he's created so many iconic characters. He knows how to put words into the mouths of actors and to let them make them their own. And he's talked about that in interviews too, how sometimes even he's surprised by how some of these actors, especially the Maggie Smiths and the Christine Baranskis of the world, can take these lines and make them iconic, or in your words, devastating. And yeah, so like there's just, he's currently 76 years old. Like I said, still going strong. He's still getting work. He's still writing things. And I look forward to not only revisiting some of his older work as a screenwriter, but he's also a novelist.
Yes, I'm about to order his novels. I was going to mention that to you, that I'm going to do that.
Okay. I will too at some point. I'm not sure when. We'll have to decide when in our episode order we decide to tackle a book. But like there's even more to talk about than I realized when I was like, hey, what if this was the thing that we did? And then I jumped into his Wikipedia and was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
He's written for way more movies than I knew about. He's written for, there was a whole show that I didn't know existed. And now there are books.
And there are musicals.
Yeah. Yeah. He's been the book writer for at least one Broadway musical.
Yeah. I had no idea.
Yeah. Don't know how we're going to cover that, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Find ways.
You know, maybe a trip to New York's public library and
watching some recordings.
Yeah. We could do that.
I think that could work.
That could happen. We know when we're next going to New York. So,
yay!
Yeah. So that could happen. Yeah. So we'll have a chance to probably dive into Julian Fellowes' background a lot more as the podcast goes on, but those are the basics. English dude. He's a member of the House of Lords. Been writing since the 60s. Acting certainly in the 60s, writing since late 60s, early 70s. And here we are in 2025, still talking about and loving the guy. Mm-hmm. Well, loving his writing.
Yeah.
He has some personal opinions and stances that we probably do not jive on.
Yeah.
And yet I dig the representation that he puts in his shows.
Yeah. And so I think there's something there about, we can have conversations about, separating the art from the artist, but also, finding those points of connection across differences, which is always important.
Yeah. Yeah. So what will this show be? Listeners, what are you getting yourselves into? As we've already said, we're going to focus on the writing.
Yes.
That's really what we're looking at.
And as I told my students are starting the school year, and we talked about, what do you read? Meaning, like, what do you understand deeply? And I shared, I read pop culture trivia, that if I'm watching something, I'm always thinking about, what else was that actor in? How does that inform how they're playing this part, or the connections they may have had with other actors? So we're going to be digging into the casts of these fantastic shows, the connections that they have, how those make little Easter eggs. You gotta love those Easter eggs, and kind of enhance our joy as we watch.
Exactly. Well, and speaking of trivia, we're also including a little bit of trivia in every episode, because this is something we also love and share.
Yes.
Oh, we didn't talk about the fact that we share a brain.
Yes.
It really is it's something we've been saying for years and years, since high school. We finish each other's sentences. We're thinking the same thing at the same time, even when we're hundreds of miles apart.
To the point where we wore the same color.
We wore the same color to our first recording session.
Without planning it.
Did not talk to each other at all. We just were like, blue shirts with tiny print. Go.
Yep.
So it's still happening, even in our very late 30s, should we say?
Yeah, very late 30s.
Very late 30s.
So late.
So late. It's still happening.
Yep.
But yeah, so trivia is another thing that we both love. And so we are going to get to test each other and our audience. So every episode, one host will challenge the other with a trivia question related to the Julian Fellowes property we're discussing that week. And related can be interpreted very loosely. We can just have some fun with this. So it could be about an actor, it could be about the production, the time period in which the story is set. Possibilities are endless. The answer to our trivia question will be revealed at the beginning of the trivia section in the next episode. So audience, you will have a whole week, or however much time is in between episodes, to think about the trivia answer, or cheat and Google it, either way. And then follow up with us on social media, letting us know if you knew the answer to the trivia question. And then we'll let you know if you were right the following episode.
Oh, excellent.
So this week, it's my turn to test you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. Well, you have to be.
Yep. Ready as I'll ever be.
So, as we talked about, in the 1970s, Julian Fellowes was writing some books.
Okay.
He wrote under the pseudonym Rebecca Greville.
Oh.
One of Rebecca's novels has an alliterative title. It is 2 words. The first word is poison. What is the second word? So now that you've heard the trivia question for this week, go follow us on Instagram at Strange Bedfellows. And if you know the answer, comment on the post where the trivia question is presented. And you can cheat if you want, but we would love it if our listeners made a guess without Googling first. We'd love to see, did you know? Did you guess right? And did Stefanie guess right? We'll find out next week.
Yes.
So that's it for this introductory episode where we're just kind of letting you know who we are and what the show is going to be. Thank you so much for joining us for the first episode of Strange Bedfellows. We hope we get to know more about you and your thoughts on Lord Fellowes' work.
Follow us on Instagram at Strange Bedfellows. That's fellows with an ES. Or email us at strangebedfellows@gmail.com.
If you would be so kind, please rate and review the show wherever you're listening to us right now. And subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.